So today I will talk about, first of all, what's going on with Spryker architecture in general. And in the end, I will have a little surprise for you, or maybe an additional interesting point. How can we work together? So the talk is Composable Commerce Enterprise and Architecture Outlook. But I would summarize it on how to build your own enterprise composition platform. So I'm Denis Turkov, still. Probably you will see me 3 times at this stage. Sorry for that. And I will have a few discussions today. One is my talk on the architecture to introduce what's going on in Spryker in general. But then we will have a beautiful panel discussion on AI and what does it mean for developers on day-by-day job. I'm responsible in Spryker for architecture design of our products, but also for some of our key partners and key initiatives. And as engineer, I'm the most curious and interested in developer experience. So still, time to time, I get, as Guido said, like yesterday during hackathon, I had to find a few minutes to actually code and make some things working, not just slides, which is disappointing, of course. But developer experience is really something that drives the change. And it was a core capability at Spryker, and it remains in our focus. In the last years, we had multiple releases of different products. We had the releases in the cloud. We had releases of composition platform. We also have Oryx now. But how does it all get together? Why do we need this? Why do we need these all products? So today, I want to take you to a journey and get these dots together and draw this picture from these little detached puzzles. But everything started in 2015 when Spryker was a backend framework to build e-commerce. It was very focused, and to a degree it remains, very focused on solid principles and modular architecture that enabled us for many, many years ahead for changes in our system that would be still possible to go over, even having dramatic technological changes in organization. Then we grew, we added more frameworks, we added the API framework, we added the front-end framework, we added data exchange framework. And in the meantime, we were adding on B2C, B2B, and marketplace functionalities, opening completely new markets in the e-commerce. And we just started to observe at this point that all of these enterprise projects that are coming, because Spryker is not a simple system, right? If you get a ready-to-go API, commoditized API, it has its own limitations, it has its own advantages, but Spryker is built for customization, for achieving what we today formulate as a sophisticated transactional business. And we found that actually you need to not only design, build, and these applications, you also need to run them efficiently. And that's why in 2019 we introduced Spryker Cloud to get the applications that we build and place them in a safe, secure, and scalable environment. During these times, we started to observe that projects also change, and we got many more projects on our cloud. We had not only complex enterprise projects, we also get apps where the scopes were cut. So it's not only a fully furnished best-of-breed approach, it's a very specialized project that only do one thing very good. And we found that actually these applications have demand on communication among them. And we introduced a Spryker composition platform, about which we will talk a little bit today. So where composition platform takes its roots. the beginning of everything, and in some cases even developer careers start with monoliths. Same as 15 years ago, a monolith it was a default way to build applications. When we have an application where functionalities are extended until the application breaks. The focus in the monolithic applications is on getting functionalities in the system, and this usually, from business side, it's called best of suite approach, where one suite can cover all functionalities you need. So you get one purchase as a customer, as a project, and you get a solution that covers all your needs. And that was fine, and sometimes people feel like these connotations against monolith applications. There is nothing like that in technical world. There are suitable situations for such architectures and not suitable situations. When applications got too big, we've seen a rise of the microservice architectures, where we learned how applications can be isolated, can be built independently, and deployed independently. And that was a great time of distribution. We got distributed teams, we got distributed applications. We started to face completely new problems, such as tracking, tracing across multiple applications. The focus in it, in the microservice architecture, or let's say the main driver of microservices, are engineers and developers who build them up. Sometimes microservice can be really micro, a function that just does something in the background that a business user doesn't see, and sometimes something bigger could be at the whole application suite. The main connectivity I wanted to say, but the correct technical term for it, it's interoperability. So the main focus for connection different applications is APIs. So we talk through APIs via different applications, and that's how we communicate among them. And then we've seen that with growing complexities, it was not enough, because it was okay to have in-house built microservices. Beautiful. But what if you have different vendors building microservices for your vendor, for your solution? Or you are one of these solutions. You don't know anything about other microservices, you don't control them, you cannot change their APIs, or you cannot change their architecture. And that's where the term was coined by Gartner. Gartner finalized the story. By the way, if someone says now composable architecture, it's a very new concept. It is not. It started in 2000s, around 2000. They were first researchers but they were called differently. They were called approaches to interoperability. There is a whole study about it. But Gartner finalized the story, and they coined the term composable. They formulated it and coined the term PBC, which is Packaged Business Capability, where the focus already not on how to isolate these applications, but how to make sure that all of these applications getting together and play well in the same sandbox. The focus here that interoperability is not only achieved on the API layer, but also on infrastructure, on data, API and UX layers. The main driver of change here is the business user, who is changing and deciding, swapping those components from one to another. This approach is usually called in business world the best of breed, where from each particular type of vendors, you choose the best, and you get their composition. So if I would separate, because there is a lot of kind of rumors and misunderstanding on, is it like composable architecture, it's completely different? Does it conflict microservices? Actually, no. These terms can coexist, but the focus is different. While microservice is focused on isolation of application, so that we can deploy and operate and build them independently, the composable architecture focuses on how they can play together when there are many, not two, many. So to sum up on what is composability inside, and talk technical. Technically, that means that we need to make sure that applications can communicate on 4 different levels. The level of infrastructure, where you want to share or reuse an infrastructure component. For instance, if you, between applications, you are pumping tons of data, gigabytes or terabytes sometimes of data, you don't want to go through the internet the whole way. You want to pass by. You want to get a shared component and, let's say, and using network components, get the job done faster, easier, and less expensive. The data, where the main object of one application can be extended by subdomains or enhanced from another application. The APIs, when we are talking about different vendors, each of them has different view to APIs and their conventions. If we want to achieve composability, we want to make sure that from developer perspective, developers can operate as it will be one single API experience, using the same tokens, using the same permission and authorization and authentication mechanisms. And of course, on UX level, when we get a beautiful API, it's just not enough. We need to have an UX, or we need to have a UI that can reflect all of those vendor applications in unified user experience. And we released 3 products to support or to address these challenges. The first product is Spryker Cloud Commerce OS, which includes the very core, the very beginning, the framework that we started with. It's Spryker Application Framework, which is a framework that is ready for composable applications. Once we have an application, we maybe not have yet applications, we want to build it, we need tools for it. But also we need to have automation, SDK, to get them live, to get them tested, to get them in production. Once we have application in production, we want to make sure that it's secure and scalable. And once there is a problem, we want that there is a helping hand on the other side. That is Spryker Cloud. The second piece or second product that is implementing the architecture, the composable architecture, it is Spryker Application Composability Platform. There is a deep dive talk that I gave last year in AWS Summit. So if you're interested to know really deep how the platform looks like, I'm happy to answer it later. However, within this talk, what's important to understand, there is a playground where different applications can work together, using synchronous communication, asynchronous communication, authorization, and other mechanisms that are ensured by the platform. That means you can reuse SaaS-like services, software as a service applications, like order management system, like PIM system, CRM, but also you can bring your own innovation, your own applications that you operate, and they would still work together. It's sometimes people ask us, are we SaaS or PaaS? But actually, Spryker is a hybrid solution where we have a number of applications and services provided in a SaaS way, but also you bring your own innovation as a PaaS, as a platform as a service. But this is not enough. To API and working applications together, we need a front end. And just recently, Tobias and his team released the ORX framework that powers composable frontends. This framework not only capable of getting different moving components together, like pages and widgets, but also coming from different applications and even vendors. Another feature of this, if this framework is so composable, what else can it do? It is designed in a way that it is cross-framework available. You can use ORX framework in Vue.js in Vue.js applications. You can build with your composable frontends if you are an Angular developer, if you are a Vue.js developer, or React.js. There is no bias about technology you want to use. Just yesterday, there was a little surprise that we faced. We just planned this. We had this discussion maybe 1.5 to 2 years ago with Tobias. How it would be beautiful if this is already so not biased, right? How it would be beautiful if you can also build a mobile app with this. We estimated this story and we just left it. And just yesterday at the hackathon, some of our friends and developers, first of all, came up with this idea, but then realized it in a couple of hours. So that's the power of the ORX framework, having one stack for the front end, being composing different business functionalities from Spryker or third party. Now let's place it all on the architecture diagram, right? So this is, let's say, more or less marketing slides. Now we come to the architecture diagram. First starts with the cloud. Spryker Cloud provides different services that can run together and power your applications. It comes together with Spryker IAM, Spryker Cloud Management Panel, SDK, and Data Accessibility Platform. The next part, it's the Application Composition Platform, where you can access different types of applications. For example, commerce applications built by Spryker and provided as it's an industry standard term, SaaS way. It could be connector PBCs, where an actual capability is located outside of Spryker universe or Spryker Cloud, and we need to build an adapter to make sure that it is composable, so that this application can play a game in the wider scope of your composable solution. Customized applications, where you take a Spryker application and you change it. You take our code, as same as you used to do, and you do it probably on a daily basis. You take Spryker code, you customize it, but this is your own custom application. That's also a packaged business capability available on the application composition platform. And completely custom apps, where you don't even depend on the Spryker composable framework. This, of course, supported by two services as application catalog and event platform, to make sure that not only your synchronous communication is well done, but asynchronous communication is also governed, and among your applications, we have a proper routing. There are two gateways that we need to ensure when applications come into this platform. And the first one is business gateway, to make sure that capability that is getting our application getting deployed now, or getting part of Spryker composition platform, it has a business recognition. Because the main difference to PBC, packaged business capabilities, they are user-centric. And code upgrader quality gate, to make sure that applications, customized applications that you place on the platform will be still upgradable. That you will not lose track of upgrades, and you will be able to continue getting incremental updates in automated or semi-automated way. And when we have these all applications together, we have a API gateway that makes sure that you have unified API experience from developer perspective. Once this is done, UI slice is coming on top. When we have these components composed, we need to have as I already said, composable frontend to make sure that these components now have the same user or unified user experience, that you won't need to retrain your team every time you change a component. Okay? And good enough, today we have the whole day to actually deep dive on each of these components. We will start with Hatem and Davide, who will give us a talk on the cloud. We will continue with Tobias and Stan, who will give us a talk on ORX and how to build your own ORX application. And we will finalize the picture with Ahmed's talk on how to build your first PBC in minutes. And the last one. This is a perk that I was inspired by yesterday hackathon, and I thought, if we are in this community-like space, and we like to share, most of solutions you shared yesterday. It's beautiful. I was thinking, what can we share from Spryker side to help you to make AI-powered solutions better? And we published now a Spryker AI Hub, which you can access, and you can find there Spryker datasets for machine learning and your own AI models. There is just a small amount of them. You can find pre-processed documentation cleaned up from unnecessary scripts and artifacts that's ready for training, but also vectorized Spryker documentation. There will be many more in future. So if you are building tools that help your developers or can help community, share them and get recognized in the partner community. Also share them to get contributors to your tools, to get more from the application that you are designing. And it's based on GitHub. So even to the system itself, you can give a pull request and suggest you change. So let's contribute together. I'm looking forward to your interesting ideas and tools and services that we can help you, that we can get recognized and we can share among the community. Thank you.